I woke up to a notification and thought that my eyes were playing tricks on me. Coinbase, one of the biggest crypto exchanges on the planet, somehow lost almost 90% of its XRP holdings practically overnight, or at least that's how it looked. 2 days ago, they had a crypto stash the size of a whale, and now, well, it's nearly drained. So what on earth happened here? Now you can imagine that my coffee nearly kind of fell out of my hand, right? I'm an XRP guy. I've been invested in XRP for years, rode the roller coaster through the booms and the crashes, the lawsuit, the rumors, all of it. So when I see a headline screaming that Coinbase's XRP cold wallets plunged from 52 wallets to just 6, my heart skips a beat. My favorite crypto, is it in trouble? Are whales playing games? Am I about to witness a twist in the XRP saga that I never saw coming? Well, I wasn't going to let this just sit there and me wonder. I had to find out what on earth is going on. And let me tell you, the story that I uncovered is as wild as it sounds. There's intrigue, there's big numbers, a dash of mystery, basically all of the makings of a crypto thriller. And I'm taking you with me on this ride. So buckle up, because I'm going to share exactly what I found and what it might mean for all of us XRP holders. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see XRP and Coinbase in a whole new light, just like I do now. All right, let's rewind just a bit to set the scene. Picture this. It's early June and Coinbase has a massive trove of XRP sitting in their cold wallets. When I see, at least say kind of massive, I mean it's around about 970 million XRP coins. Yeah, nearly a billion with a B. So for context, at around $3 a coin, which was roughly where XRP was trading, that would be like $2.9 billion worth of XRP, all tucked away in Coinbase's cold storage, which is basically like their long-term vault. Not the day-to-day hot wallet stuff that they use for quick trades or withdrawals, but the deep storage. So let's think of cold wallets like saving accounts you hardly touch. Now, while hot wallets, of course, are like the checking accounts that you use for your everyday spending. Normally, you don't see a ton of movement from the vault. It's supposed to be, quiet in there. And back in June, that vault was packed. It wasn't just one wallet either. It was actually split across 52 separate cold wallets, as it's kind of as if Coinbase had 52 safety deposit boxes all full of XRP, right? And get this, someone in the XRP community, a real on-chain sleuth who goes by the handle of XRP Liquidity, actually dug up the details on this. Now, according to their analysis, one of those 52 wallets, 10 wallets were actually, I should say, out of all of those 52 wallets, 10 of those wallets were actually holding about 26.8 million XRP each, and the other 42 wallets had about 16.8 million XRP. They really had it kind of itemized down to the coin, right? So when I first heard that, I did a double take. I was like, wait, Coinbase had how much XRP just chilling in cold storage? And 52 different wallets? It was both impressive and a little bit unsettling. Like finding out a bank in your own town has a vault with almost $1 billion in it, right? Now, as an XRP holder, part of me felt kind of reassured. Hey, Coinbase is holding a whole ton of my favorite coin, so they must believe in it too, right? But another part of me was like, that's a whole lot of eggs in a single basket. So far, so good, but here's where things get a bit weird. Fast forward just a few weeks, after that June snapshot, and I'm going about my summer, casually checking about crypto news and Twitter or X or whatever we're going to call it these days, and I start seeing these alerts, big chunks of XRP moving around on the blockchain. Now, I follow this Twitter bot called Whale Alert, right? If you're into crypto, you Probably should follow it if you don't already. Whale Alert basically tweets whenever huge amounts of cryptocurrency moves between wallets. It's kind of like having a radar for whale movements. So one day I see 16 million XRP transferred from unknown wallet to unknown wallet. Then again another day, 20 million XRP transferred. These are pretty chunky transactions, not your average Joe moving his 100 XRP about. And the thing that really kind of caught my eye is that Whale Alert kept labeling the sender as unknown wallet. Now, unknown wallet or unknown just means that it wasn't immediately clear whose wallet it actually was. But something in my gut said, could these be those Coinbase cold storage wallets on the move? Because remember those 42 wallets with 16.8 million XRP each? Well, those numbers matched up surprisingly and suspiciously well with these 16 million XRP transfers. Coincidence? Well, I didn't think so. It was like seeing puzzle pieces float by, and I had to put all of them together. So, jump onto XRPScan, which is the kind of awesome site where you can look at transactions and accounts on the XRP ledger. Sure enough, I see those Whale Alert transactions are coming from wallets that, when you kind of dig a little deeper, look a heck of a lot like Coinbase's cold wallets. Addresses that had big stashes and names like Coinbase Cold Wallet in the tags, or at least in some of the tags. It's kind of like, at least it was like doing, I guess, blockchain detective work. Now, I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but even I could figure out that these were Coinbase moving funds around. And the pattern became clear. Coinbase was emptying its vault. Those cold wallets were sending tens of millions of XRP. Not some random shady place, not to some random shady place, but first to Coinbase's own hot wallets. So, from the vault to the cash register, so to speak. Then, from the hot wallets, smaller portions of the XRP were going out to other exchanges like Binance, to a platform called Stake, and to a bunch of what we call unknown addresses, which likely were just private wallets of users. Now, this told me one thing. Coinbase was likely processing a ton of withdrawal requests. People were taking their XRP out of Coinbase and moving them elsewhere. This wasn't Coinbase dumping their XRP on the market directly, it was them handing coins back to customers or transferring them between internal accounts. Now, at this point, I'm scratching my head. Why on earth are so many people yanking their XRP off of Coinbase? Usually, cold wallets don't get this kind of action. It's kind of like your savings account suddenly having daily withdrawals. You start asking questions. Now, is it because XRP's price was doing something crazy and people wanted to sell or to move to where the action is? Or are these big players, whales, moving coins to private storage because they know something that we don't? Now, you know that feeling when you notice something odd and your brain starts doing 10 different conspiracy theories, right? Yeah, that was me right there. Now, some folks online are speculating just like I was, right? I saw comments ranging from Coinbase must be insolvent to, something like they're in trouble. People are panicking. And all the way to things like, nah, this is just orchestrated. Big whales are quietly accumulating, pulling XRP off of exchanges for a supply shock. Now, supply shock, meaning if enough XRP gets taken off of the market, suddenly there's not much left to trade, which could force the price up big time. And when I say big time, I mean some were kind of throwing out targets like XRP hitting $10 or more. Now, as someone who's been holding XRP for years, you better believe that my ears picked up, right? Specifically at that, because $10 XRP, I remember dreaming of that number way back in 2017, and again during the last bull run of 2021. So if XRP hits $10, you'd bet that I'd probably be attempting a backflip of some kind, and likely also hurt myself in the process, but it would be worth it. But hold on. Right? let's not get carried away, right? Because this is exactly where I need to throw in a reality check for you and for me. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your own responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now that we've kind of got all of that out of the way, I mean, you know, I had to say it, let's get back to the story. So, where were we? Yes. The XRP Great Escape from Coinbase. By late August and into early September, these movements kept on happening, and I'm keeping tally, either by checking updates on the XRPScan or reading follow-ups on the Crypto Basic, for example. Now, every other week, another cold wallet empties, out 16 million XRP, 20 million XRP, 15 million XRP. It was like watching sand pour out of a giant hourglass. And by mid-September, the hourglass was almost empty. Then came the kicker. I looked at the data on XRPScan around September 13th, and guess what? Coinbase was down to just 6 cold wallets holding XRP. 6. Remember, right? They started with 52 in June. Now it's just 6, and each of those has roughly 16 million XRP left in them. Now, if you do the math, that is around about 98 million XRP total still in cold storage. So from 970 million down to 98 million. That is an 89.8% drop in their XRP reserves. Practically wiped out, right? Save for maybe a few fellow kind of leftover coins maybe rattling in the jar. So when I realized this, my jaw literally did drop, right? I saw, or at least I had to blink just a fair few times, just to make sure that I wasn't misreading any of this, right? 52 wallets down to 6 wallets. Now, if that isn't dramatic, I don't know what is, right? I even double checked on another tracker just to make sure that I wasn't looking at some kind of glitch. But no, it was real. It felt surreal. Think of it like this. Imagine your bank had $1,000 of your money in their vault for safekeeping, and within a few months, $900 of it was actually withdrawn and only $100 is left in the vault. You would be like, is my money safe? Who took it out? Was it me? Did I miss something? Now, of course, in this particular case, it's not Coinbase's money, is it? It's actually their customers' XRP, and presumably those customers intentionally withdrew or moved it. So it's not like Coinbase got robbed or lost it. They gave it out to people because they've actually asked for it, or so it seems anyway. But still, seeing that huge outflow gave me flashbacks to times when exchanges run into trouble. Not saying that Coinbase is in trouble here, but that pattern of funds leaving in mass is usually a bit of a red flag in other scenarios. I keep expecting Coinbase to come out with some kind of statement, maybe a, hey guys, we moved funds to a new custodian, or we consolidated our wallets more efficiently, or even due to popular demand, we facilitated large XRP withdrawals. Anything, but no. Right? Not a peep. In fact, the Crypto Basic mentioned that they reached out to Coinbase for a comment on why this was happening. And as of their report, Coinbase hasn't responded. Radio silence. Now that just adds to the kind of intrigue, doesn't it, right? Lack of an official information or comment is the kind of perfect breeding ground for, well, speculation. And on that note, let's chat about speculation for a second. One theory makes the rounds, and I touched on it earlier a little bit here, and it is the whale theory. The idea that perhaps some huge players are deliberately pulling XRP off of the exchanges to create scarcity and drive up the price. It's not impossible, right? We've seen coordinated moves in crypto before, and XRP has some pretty diehard fans with deep pockets. So if a bunch of whales worked in cohort or concerts to buy up XRP and withdraw it, it could create a supply shock. And if demand stays the same or goes up, basic economics says that the price should shoot up. Some community people are hyping that particular angle, expecting maybe an explosive move for XRP soon. Then there's the more vanilla explanation. Maybe a lot of regular XRP holders decided to move their coins out of Coinbase. Perhaps it's because XRP's price was relatively strong at around $3 and people wanted to secure their profits in personal wallets. Or maybe they wanted to shift their XRP to other exchanges like Binance or into DeFi platforms for, earning yield. Right? There's also the trust factor here, right? After seeing things like the SEC lawsuit saga and other exchanges having issues, some people just prefer to hold their own crypto in self-custody now, right? And if you are looking for that, then you should probably check out the Ledger cold storage link that's in the description down below. I personally use all Ledger devices and find them very good for self-custody. The link in the description is an affiliate link. It takes you directly to Ledger's website, where I recommend anyone who is looking at these things buys them directly from the manufacturer, just to prevent any fraudulent devices being purchased off of Amazon or eBay and things like that. Anyway, there's that old saying, right? Not your keys, not your coins. So it could simply be just a wave of people taking control of their own XRP, which honestly, I can't fault anyone for. I've moved coins off of exchanges myself when, I'm not actively trading them. It's also worth noting Coinbase only relisted XRP earlier, right? After some legal clarity from the Ripple SEC case. So at first, there was a ton of excitement and trading on Coinbase. Maybe after the initial hype, some traders took their funds elsewhere or settled in for the long hold. Hard to say for sure. Another angle, maybe some holders were just chasing opportunities on other platforms. Some exchanges or services offer staking rewards or other incentives for XRP. Perhaps a platform like Stake had a juicy offer. Or, like I said, maybe people are just, diversifying across exchanges for safety. Some might even be trying out newer trading platforms like Blowfin or BitGet for better fees or promos. Speaking of which, quick shameless plug from me, I actually have affiliate links for both Blowfin and BitGet in the description below. So if you are shopping around for a new crypto exchange and want to give them a go, using those links helps support the channel here and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you do go ahead and use them and sign up and trade there, big thank you if you do that. Okay. Plug over, let's get back to the main story. Now, personally, when I see something like this, huge funds on the move, I try not to jump to conclusions. It's easy to either kind of panic sell or FOMO buy based on big news. And trust me, I've learned that the hard way with these rash decisions and crypto, they just don't mix together. Not least very well. My approach was, let's gather the facts, let's discuss with the community and keep an eye out for any official word. Right? The first thing that I did was hop into the free educational Discord server, and yes, the link in the description if you want to join, and it's completely free, it's fun, and it's where we're all learning together. And I asked the folks there, hey, what do you all make, of this Coinbase XRP exodus? And I got a variety of different answers, right? Some were as baffled as me. A couple of our resident tinfoil hat theorists, had elaborated plots about market manipulation. And a few pragmatic voices said probably people just moving to cold storage because they plan on the long hold term. Or at least to hold long term, I should say. Now, the discussions were super insightful and honestly helped me kind of calm down and consider multiple different angles. It's great having a community to bounce ideas off. So otherwise, you would be just spiraling in your own head with all of these kind of things. Now, after mulling it all over, here is where I stand. This is a significant shift, right? There's no doubt. But you don't just see nearly 900 million XRP move out of a major exchange for, well, no reason. The trick is that we don't definitely know the reason yet. Now, it could be super bullish, whales locking away XRP anticipating a price boom. Or it could be neutral, kind of meh, just routine customer behavior. Or there might even be some unknown bearish reasons, though hopefully not, I'm leaning towards it being largely bullish, or at least not bad news, right? If it were something scary, usually, there would have been rumors by now. Like if Coinbase was hacked or had a liquidity crisis, then trust me, that would be all over the news beyond just on-chain analysis and analysts kind of just noticing wallet movements. For me, I'm leaning more on a supply shock. This is something that we can see tangibly happening, right? There are reasons that demand's more likely going to increase with ETFs and things like that. Couple in a lack of available supply to buy, specifically from Coinbase, this could actually be a really, really bullish sign. So I'm leaning on the bullish side rather than on the neutral or skeptical side, because when we see a lack of supply or demand staying neutral or growing, the price can only go one way, and that's economics 101. Now, one interesting thought, if a supply shock really is coming, that means exchanges might start running low on XRP to sell. In extreme cases, right, that can drive prices wild because people realize that there's not much left on the open market. Pair that with any good news for XRP and who knows, it could light a fire under the price. However, and this is the kind of seasoned investor in me talking, even if something big is brewing, which I do believe, then I'm still going to be sticking to my plan, right? I'm not about to double my bag or sell everything just because of this one event. But you can bet that I'm going to be watching like a hawk. Now, this whole episode has been a reminder of how transparent yet mysterious crypto can be, right? We can see huge transactions on the public ledger. Anyone with an internet connection can verify that roughly 870 million XRP left Coinbase's wallets. That's the transparent part. But the why behind these moves, well, that's the mystery, isn't it? And it might remain one until someone at Coinbase or a big player comes out and explains it. It's like having security camera footage of a vault being emptied, but all of the people are wearing masks. You can see exactly what happened, but you're not sure who actually did it or why. Now, as we come to the end of this little XRP adventure, what is the takeaway? Well, for me, it reinforced a couple of things. First, always stay cautious and curious and informed, right? If I had seen that headline and just kind of shrugged it off, I'd have missed a learning about something pretty fascinating, about how market dynamics work. Right? The fact that we even have the tools to catch this kind of stuff, shout out to on-chain data nerds, it's a huge advantage for regular people like us. The second thing, right? It's a reminder not to keep all of your eggs in one basket. Coinbase is as big and as reputable as they come in the United States. Yet, here we are seeing tons of people move their assets out. Diversification, whether across exchanges or moving some coins to self-custody, is just smart practice in crypto. And third, maybe most importantly, we don't let panic or hype sway our kind of conviction without the evidence, right? Could XRP shoot to the moon because of this? Maybe. Or could it turn out to be a blip that we all just forget next month? Also possible. Either way, I'm holding on to my XRP, maybe even hugging my Ledger hardware wallet a little bit tighter because of all of this. But, I'm not making any knee-jerk decisions either. Now, the story of Coinbase's XRP wallets isn't over. Right? I'm eagerly kind of waiting, to see if Coinbase addresses it or if any more big moves actually happen. You bet that I'm going to be staying tuned to the whale alerts on at least for any new XRP kind of splashes, if you will. Now, at least in the meantime, let's kind of keep this conversation going, right? Because if you have a theory about what could be happening here, then you want to drop it in the comments down below, or better yet, join the Discord server and share it there. I'm genuinely curious what you all think about this. Is there something bigger starting here, or is this just a nothing burger? Either way, I'm going to be here to ride this wave, story by story, and I'm going to keep you all in the loop on what I find out. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in crypto after all of these years, is that there's always another plot twist just around the corner, and half the fun is figuring it out together. So yeah, that's my XRP story for today. A little bit of mystery, a little bit of speculation, and a reminder of why we love and occasionally fear this space. So if you've enjoyed coming down this rabbit hole with me, do me an absolute solid favor, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's quick, one quick click for you, and it really does help the channel out massively here. So stay curious, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.